So last time on Absolute Wonder Woman, she finally defeated the Tetracide, and she did this by becoming Medusa herself. So after turning the Tetracide to stone and punching it to dust, her and her friends are celebrating and everything seems great. Except all of this is interrupted by a glowing hand dragging Diana back down to hell. A hand I thought to be from the goddess Hecate, as she's had multiple communications with Diana and her mother, but it turns out that's not who dragged her back down. It was Hades himself, king of the underworld, and he is not happy with Diana, as he tells her she is not allowed to leave the underworld. And as Diana gives him a real smart remark saying, "But I did," he realizes he needs to know how she was able to escape the underworld. But first, he needs her to remove all of her weapons. Because although it looks like she doesn't have any, and that's why his goons didn't disarm her, everything she's wearing is a weapon. And you'll come to realize throughout this comic that Diana is talking real slick at the mouth when it comes to Hades. That does not go unnoticed. And as he makes Diana strip, thanks Hades, we get to see her remove all of her weapons and we see it really was everything she was wearing, but she is allowed to keep her boots. And like I said before, she keeps poking at him verbally and it's starting to annoy him. And after she has fully stripped pretending that she is unarmed, he is able to smell the powerful magic coming from her enchanted pouch. And as he tells her to remove that, we finally see all of her weapons on display. He takes specific notice to her red lasso, the Nemesis lasso. And although she warns against using it because they made it specifically for Diana, we get some of the best artwork in the comic as she tells the story of what it's actually made from, because Hades is very curious. See, when Diana was younger, her mother always sent her out to collect different things. First, there were pointless weeds, then there were very specific ingredients, and when she was ready, she was sent to go meet Prometheus. And just for a side note, this needs to stay the art style for Absolute Wonder Woman. It fits beautifully. Look at this. Prometheus chained up to the mountain, Absolute Wonder Woman with the wind and the rain with the axe in her hand standing right in front of him, looking like something out of God of War. This is perfect. But let's get back to the story, because Diana gets her axe blessed by the goddess of justice so that she's able to free Prometheus from his bonds. And that's not the end of her good deeds for Prometheus, as she also asks the eagle that comes to eat him no longer to feast on his flesh, an eagle that she calls her sister. And she asks her to pass the message along to the other eagles to stop eating Prometheus. But these are only temporary fixes. She knows she can't keep Prometheus unbound forever, and it doesn't mean other creatures won't come to eat him, just that the eagles will stop. And after doing one more great deed for him, giving him a pouch of water that will always refill so that he can finally quench his thirst, she finally asks for her favor. She needs a vial of his blood so that she can create a mighty weapon and help defend humanity against monsters and gods if need be, something he gladly grants her. And although she feels like she may not be worthy of such a gift, he reassures her that just like her mother, he can also see the future, and he knows that her future is very dangerous and she will need his help. So he will gladly allow her to get some of his blood as he tells her to strike his finger and make sure the blood flies. And we see why he wanted his blood to fly, as now, born of his blood, Pegasus lives again, as he grants this to Diana, and he believes they will make a good pair as they both suffer from injustice. See, the Pegasus was born of Medusa's blood, a woman betrayed by the gods, and eventually Pegasus was betrayed by Zeus and killed, also betrayed by the gods, and Wonder Woman has been betrayed by the gods since she was born. So because of this, her and Pegasus form an immediate bond, as they both seek justice. And as we head back to the throne room, we see that this was only half of the origin story for the Nemesis lasso. Now we see how she met Pegasus, but there is something else inside this lasso, something dark and venomous, as Diana tells him it's from the basilisk, something Zeus tasked to kill Wonder Woman on multiple occasions. Eventually, she was able to kill it. And as Hades tries to call Diana out for killing the last basilisk as some kind of trophy, she lets him know that's not why she kills. This thing was steeped in the blood of the innocent. It had to go. So she made sure to track it down and waited to try and catch it by surprise, waiting for it to go to sleep. But Diana is no fool. She was already told if you take one look into the basilisk's eyes, it instantly kills you. So she went in there after blinding herself with magic. And that's not all she did to herself, as she also removed her own sense of smell, because she knows the basilisk is highly sensitive to certain smells, and she takes advantage of this, stirring the creature into a frenzy and cutting its head off. And now that we have our origin for the Nemesis lasso, we see Diana continuing to get smart with him, but now comes a twist I certainly didn't see coming. Hades does not believe this is how the Nemesis lasso came to be. He does not believe Diana, and he's definitely sick of her smart mouth, so he reveals his cards. He kidnapped Circe, Diana's mother. as that smirk gets wiped right off her face and tears begin to well up in her eyes, as now she sees her mother is being held captive. As Hades says, "Ah, at last, no more smart remarks from that too-sharp tongue. We all have weaknesses, princess. Yours was quite easy to pinpoint." And here is where we end the issue, and I'm definitely curious what parts of those stories were a lie. There's no way none of it happened. I'm curious if the real truth is that none of it happened to Diana, and that Circe is the one that did all this. Something she may not want to reveal to Hades or any of the other gods, that Circe was able to leave, since she was the one who was first trapped in the underworld. I guess we'll have to find out on the next issue, but let me know how you guys felt about this, and I will catch you on the next one.